All right, well, hello everybody. Welcome back from the end of the season, the Super Bowl that I'm sure all of you watched. If you didn't watch it, you missed out on a pretty lackluster game this year. But we are back for what we are currently titling For the North Offseason Chatter. So this is our in between the preseason, in between the draft. This is going to be our way to give you content, both Chris and I, before we get to the regular season, which is coming all the way in September. So we've got a long ways to go. We're, just only in March. But I am PJ. I'm here in Wisconsin.
I'm Chris in Minnesota, and we'll keep this short and sweet for y'all. We will get updates, and some weeks we will have more. Some weeks we might just speculate for fun. That's the off season.
Yeah,
we can have a little bit of fun now. Now that none of our teams won the Super Bowl, unless you are a Seattle fan listening in. Thank you. I do not know why you are tuning into a NFC North podcast. Maybe just to keep up on the competition, but you know what? We'll take it.
Market research.
Listenership.
They're doing their market research, their due diligence to really know, the going-ons of the NFC North. So yeah. That's very well said, Chris. This is kind of our going to be as it was during the regular season. If you tuned in, we really appreciate it. Thank you for listening to us ramble and sometimes rant and sometimes just kind of wax poetically about the Vikings and the Packers and Lions and Bears. So thank you for tuning in and thank you for listening to this. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, PJ, do you want to get started with the news you have? Which team are you going to start with?
Well, so I'm going to start with the team that I'm most familiar with and most comfortable with, the Green Bay Packers. Right now, just speaking in kind of broad general terms, the news of the offseason for the Packers since we witnessed them, heartbreakingly lose in the playoffs was the departure of their defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley, to go over and be the Dolphins head coach. That also included losing some, assistant coaches and staffers on the offensive and defensive side that led to some reorganization. Ultimately, the Packers have now hired a new defensive coordinator, as well as a new special teams coordinator after the departure or forced retirement of Rich Bisaccia. So new special teams coordinator, new defensive coordinator. And right now the other thing on the horizon for the Packers is a lot of really big talk about what free agents are going to be kept, what's going to happen with the offensive line with guys like Elton Jenkins, Rasheed Walker. There's speculation about Romeo Doubs and where he's going to end up. A lot of speculation about Josh Jacobs and whether they can afford that contract in Green Bay. And then the other free agency name that I've heard tossed around that might end up getting cut is Quay Walker, the linebacker. So a lot of things heating up. We're going to know more next week because next week is officially the open of free agency and the legal tampering. Right now we're in the legal tampering period. So we'll know a lot more next week and I'm sure we'll have more updates. But as we both know, the Packers are not really ones to make big, flashy day one free agent signings or trades when the new league year opens up in that second week of March. So I don't foresee the Packers making a big splashy move in the offseason, especially since going into last season before September, the Packers traded for Micah Parsons and spent a lot of draft picks and capital on that. So I don't foresee them making a big splashy move. Other news, the Detroit Lions, and we talked about how their season ended, how it was disappointing, to say the least. But they have parted ways with David Montgomery, who got traded to the Texans in return for I want to say a 5th round pick and an offensive lineman, to go ahead and try to rebuild that offensive line room for the Lions. Dan Campbell has kind of come out in press conferences during the Super Bowl leading up to now, saying that if they're going to be a successful team, if they're going to keep Jared Goff upright, the kind of basis of that, the building point of that, is having a strong offensive line. But certainly losing David Montgomery is, I think, going to be a blow to their the really great 1-2 punch that they had in Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. So we'll see how that all unfolds. But again, none of this is official, mind you, but this is the current, if you follow insiders like Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, Field Yates, Jason Wilde. There's a bunch of guys, and I can't name all of them, but you want to give them credit for their insider reporting that they're actually doing, and this is where I'm getting my news. So that's what I've got. So.
Yeah, all right. Let's switch it over here. I'll switch gears to the Bears. So apparently, from what I saw today, and this just came out this afternoon, actually, I was looking at it. The Bills have agreed to terms with DJ Moore and the Bears. I think that's going to be a huge loss for Caleb Williams. He was instrumental to his success, so we will see how Caleb bounces back from that. I think he had an amazing season last year and will do well this year. It's just how well, who's going to step up and be the star, we will have to see. There's plenty of capable guys on that offense to do so. Their star center just retired, giving competition for that spot, and that's always a big concern when he was one of those who kept Caleb upright, especially when he was getting blitzed from the side. He could just step up and trust that big center would be there. Huge loss for the Bears. They're expected to release a few veterans, with Tremaine Edmonds being confirmed as of a few hours ago to be cut. DeAndre Swift is also among the big names to free up cap space, because they don't have a lot of it.
No.
Let's just say that.
I mean, they were a team that they certainly pushed all of their chips into the middle of the table and spent a lot of capital in free agency last year to try and build this roster. So,
yeah, and it kind of worked. Sort of, yeah, until
it didn't.
For the NFC Championship game, yeah. Expect the Bears to address their safety concerns via draft or free agency. I think it will be free agency with a lot of secondary players being released. I think their defensive line will be fine. They have a lot of those guys on very good contracts. I would say that would help them with their cap situation. They could even restructure a little bit there. Moving on to the Vikings, a team I know most about. Quasi was released. I don't think the blame falls on him. I would argue that it was on the rotating O-line, which I think Ryan Kelly will be a name to watch for. If he is not released, they will probably restructure his contract to fit what they expect out of him. Multiple position coaches were hired, and multiple position coaches were either fired or left the organization for better things, along with I believe it was their offensive coordinator who left, and their assistant head coach, who they hired someone new just recently. And again, I'll get more into detail next week.
Yeah.
Adding to the quarterback room is essential. I believe JJ is still their guy this season. There is a lot of talk about Kyler Murray being the guy. There's a lot of talk about Geno Smith being the guy. Hey, you know what? I'm all for bringing on a veteran at a veteran minimum and having competition for that spot. If those guys beat out JJ and play better than him, all for it. But I believe JJ is still their guy because if one of them beats out JJ McCarthy, but they're like, hey, we see potential in JJ for the next year and he's not that far behind, I think it's going to be another Sam Darnold situation. I don't think they're going to go to a team with a ridiculous defense and win a Super Bowl like Sam did, and all props to him. But it's, I think there will definitely be competition, and as to who that's going to be right now, it's kind of up in the air. There's Geno Smith, there's Daniel Jones, who they're trying to work out a contract with. There's Kyler Murray, again, it's a popular one that everybody's throwing around. I'm sorry, Vikings fans. I know this is going to be heartbreaking to a lot of you, but I don't think that we're getting Joe Burrow. There's no possible way with the Vikings cap space, unless he takes a pay cut. And quarterbacks don't generally do that, especially ones of that caliber. Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind if we got him. It would I just don't see it happening. It doesn't make logical sense from a financial standpoint for the Vikings organization at this time. And I said that from the very beginning. So
yeah,
it's going to be
that was a long shot dream. Joe Burrow was the long shot dream, and you can speculate about it on paper, and you can create your Madden-like roster if you want to do it, but it's just not. It's realistically not what the Vikings are going to do from a cap perspective, from a contract perspective. I do have a question for you regarding the Vikings. A couple of kind of give me your quick answers. What was your reaction to Flores being out on the head coaching cycle yet again? And then my other question is, how would you feel if if you go and sign a veteran like Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers?
I don't believe Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers are going to bring the Vikings to a Super Bowl at this point in their careers. Could it happen? Sure. Are they good enough? Are they good enough to steer the ship if their supporting cast is strong? Yes. But I think if one person goes down, then that's kind of the first piece of the domino that falls. And then as of Flores not getting the head coaching job, I think he was shopping for options to get the huge raise that he was offered by the Vikings. And it worked.
Yeah.
So it was, I don't think he was going anywhere where he couldn't implement his system.
Yeah.
100%. So I am 100, I'm sure he'll stay with the Vikings for quite a while yet.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems, from the perspective of that you get to keep Flores as the defensive coordinator. It's thrilling. Like, obviously, yeah, you want him to have head coaching opportunities, but I think he leveraged. I like what you said there. He leveraged his high demand very well and went back to the Vikings and played his cards very well to go ahead and get the pay raise that's very well deserved at this point for him. So. I think, but we've talked about it. I think it's a matter of time. It's like, if the success continues, I think it's only a matter of time before somebody comes knocking on the Vikings' door to go ahead and give Flores the keys to the kingdom at some franchise that needs him. So,
right. Yeah, and we'll see what happens. The future's not guaranteed. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
What I like Flores to leave, no. But might he at some point? Yes. That's just the nature of the NFL.
Yeah.
The Vikings need to address their concerns in the running game, and I expect with the release of Aaron Jones, they'll be looking to add either in free agency. Right now, there's a big name running back who we know is in talks with the Vikings from Seattle, and I'm not going to say his name because I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to get too excited. Or in the draft, and there's plenty of good. This is a deep running back draft too, so
It is. Yeah.
There are quite a few that can come out of the gates and play. One of them is I can't remember his name, but he's an Ohio State running back.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're. I know.
I'm just blanking. I didn't write it down.
Yeah.
But I have. Again, will be. I want to speculate that more towards draft time, depending on what happens in free agency. So they will release Hargrave and Jonathan Allen with plenty of depth on the D line. You look at, there are a couple guys that come to mind. You had, you just played everybody in every position last year, and it worked out for Flores. So you can expect Redmond to get a raise once Turner's rookie contract is up. Expect him to get a raise as well for what he did last season. And they are expected to trade Jonathan Grenard with half the league apparently interested in what he has to offer. And I think that is going to be a key component to the Vikings' success in free agency. Again, we won't know what happens until next season, but I'm excited. And to those of you who are like, JJ really isn't our guy, I mean, I get that. It is hard to watch a quarterback go through their first season. However, if he can stay healthy, if he beats out whichever veteran they bring in, I see no reason for him not to be the guy. And if he's not, that's okay too. But again, this is all speculation. We'll have to wait to training camp, and we'll see if we have the funds to get out to all four of them. I don't know that we have that capability, but we definitely will be watching the highlights or watching some live streams from our offices. Yeah,
we could start a GoFundMe campaign and see if people will give us money to travel around and be off-season /preseason reporters.
I think that's called a Kickstarter.
Subscribe to our Patreon page.
Well, before we get too far out into the weeds, this has been a short off-season chatter, but by the guys at For the North. I'm Chris.
And I'm PJ.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.